Today in baseball history. Hi, it's me again. We're back. We're back! May the 24th, 2021. Today we're going to talk about things that happened in baseball history on, strangely, May the 24th. So let's get started. First one. These are all going to be kind of quickies because I don't have my jerseys. I don't have the jersey of the people I'm going to be talking about today, which makes me sad. So they'll all be quickies. Anyway, first one. May the 24th, in the year 1909. Christy Mathewson. Again, if you don't know who Christy Mathewson is, you should probably not be watching these videos because Christy Mathewson, once again, one of the best players to ever play the game, one of the best pitchers. He won 373 games in his career. Just a ridiculously phenomenal pitcher of the early 1900s. 1909, May the 24th, I say this, on May the 24th, he gets beaten by the St. Louis Cardinals. The final score of that game was 3-1. Why is this? I mean, he's going to get beat sometimes, right? Like he's not a perfect pitcher, but this is a big deal because it broke a streak of 24 consecutive wins against the St. Louis Cardinals when Christy Mathewson was pitching. Like, talk about owning a team. He wins 24 straight games against this one team. So it was a big deal for the St. Louis Cardinals to finally beat Christy Mathewson on this day, May the 24th, 1909. May the 24th, 1929. Now, we all know that relief pitchers are a huge part of the game today. And there's good and bad to it. I think, having people come into a ball game to pitch the one guy because it's a lefty on lefty, yeah, it's strategy, but it's also incredibly boring for the fans. And they're trying to get away from that now by saying that if you come into the game, you got to face three batters, blah, blah, blah. Not too sure if I like that either, but anyway. So relief pitchers is a huge part of the game. 1929, not so much. And here's proof. A game against the Chicago White Sox and the Detroit Tigers. Pitching for Chicago is Ted Lyons. Great pitcher. Achieved great things in his career. Pitching for the Tigers is George Uhle, who, again, great pitcher, achieved great things in his career. They go head-to-head on this day, May the 24th, 1929. And 21 innings later, the game is finally won on a sacrifice fly. It was a 0-0 tie until that time, I believe. It was 1-1-0. Let me just double-check that to make sure I am... Nope, I am totally wrong. I'm thinking of another game. The game actually ended 6-5. Anyway, that doesn't matter. The innings matter. Ted Lyons pitched 21 innings. He pitched the entire game. And not to be outdone, George Uhle pitched 20 of them. So you have these two guys that come out on a nice summer day. Well, I guess it's spring, May, but anyway. And we're going to have a bit of a ball game. And we're going to go head-to-head, toe-to-toe, see what happens. 21 innings. And they're pitching it away. It's unfathomable. I have to say that word slowly because I always mess it up if I try to say it quickly. But you can't even think of it. It would never, ever happen in today's Major League Baseball. Like, not even close. Their arms would fall off or something right on the mound. But it never happened again. Anyway, like this marathon of a game between these two pitchers, nobody would ever pitch that many innings in a Major League Baseball game again. And one of the pitchers, I think it was George Uhle, he gave up 24 hits. He gave up 24 hits. And he's still pitching in the game because it was a tie game. It was like back and forth, tie game, extra innings. We're going to keep going. And they did. Phenomenal. Happened today, May the 24th, 1929. Well, here's a bit of a monumental moment in baseball history. On May the 24th in the year 1935, Major League Baseball had their very first night game. Now, why are they having a night game at all? I mean, baseball was always played during the day. Well, wouldn't you know it that some of the owners got together and said, if we had night baseball, people could go to work during the day, and they wouldn't just listen to the game on the radio. They can actually come to the stadium after work, and we can make more money. That's why we have night baseball. It was all about money. That's all it was. But it was the first game. It was the very first night game in Major League Baseball history in 1935. This day, it was in Cincinnati, which is kind of apt because Cincinnati, if you go back to baseball lore, Major League Baseball back in the 1870s, I believe it was, or it might have even been the 1860s. They say the first Major League Baseball game where people were paid for playing baseball took place in Cincinnati. That's where baseball was born. Pro baseball, anyway. I don't know. But it took place in Cincinnati, so the Reds had the lights up there, and they had a good time. They played in front of, let me just see how many people were there. I think it was 32,000 people or something like that. 25,000. It was only 25,000 fans, but still a nice large crowd for the very first night game. People would get used to it, obviously, because now they're almost exclusively played at night, which I guess is good because it's easier for me to get to games. But man, do I love day baseball. Whew. U.S. President at the time, Franklin D. Roosevelt, throws the switch from the White House. Weird. To light the lights at, it must have been Crosley Field. At that point, it doesn't say what stadium they were at, but Cincinnati Reds played in Crosley Field, so it must have been Crosley Field. On this day, May the 24th, 1935, baseball's first night game. Okay, here's something strange. I always say that. May the 24th, 1942. World War II is happening, by the way, right now. It has started for a few years even. Like the Americans have just entered the war. In Japan, and it's weird that I'm telling you this story now because I just told you about Ted Lyons and George Uhle pitching 21 innings. So in Japan, Japanese league, they have a game that goes 28 innings and two pitchers, one on each team, pitch it all. 28 innings. They counted. I don't know how they got this data, but they have the pitch counts for each one of these pitchers. So I want to try to get these names right. Michio Nishizawa throws 311 pitches in the game. Not to be outdone, his compadre on the other side there, Yiro Noguchi, 344 pitches. You got a guy getting anywhere near 100 pitches nowadays, and the whole bench is like, oh my God, what's going to happen to his arm? 344 pitches. Come on. Anyway, so the game goes ridiculously long for the time, which is not even 4 hours. They played 3 hours and 47 minutes. And the game is tied. They have to call the game, which is something that never, ever happens in Japan. But they had to call the game because it was the last game of their spring season. In Japan at the time, they had a spring season, a summer season, and a fall season. So they split their baseball season into 3 segments. This was the last game of the spring season, and there was a big ceremony that happened right after the game. And the game is taking so long now that the people who organized this big celebration are like we got to get onto the field. Not only because, this is the big deal for everybody, but like this is the last game of the season, essentially. So they force the umpires to call the game as a tie. Never happens in Japanese baseball. Just so that they can go out there and say, hey, we had a great spring. And probably because these guys' arms were like 4 times the size that they were when they first started the game. 28 innings, 300 plus pitches on each side. May the 24th, 1942. May the 24th, 1972. That's the year I was born, by the way. May the 24th, 1972, something really interesting happens to a guy named Don Rose, and no relation to Mr. Pete Rose. But Don Rose was he was a quick in and out kind of pitcher. He only pitched in 19 games in his career, so he was not there for a long time. 19 games in the majors still is 19 more than I'll ever play. So Don Rose in 1972, not only against Vida Blue of the Oakland Athletics, not only does he collect his first career win, but he also hits his first career home run in the game. He will not win another game in Major League Baseball. He will not hit another home run in Major League Baseball. Two great things happened to this one guy this day, May 24th, 1972. That will be the highlight of his career and maybe, possibly, life. I don't know. Maybe he went on to do other great things. I have no idea. But I thought that was pretty cool. By the way, that Don Rose thing, not only was it his first home run, it was his first Major League at-bat as well. So he hits a home run the first time he comes up to plate against a pretty good pitcher, Vida Blue. And he'll never hit another. All right, so check this out. May 24th, 1978, in a minor league game. It was in the Florida State League, and the Tampa Tarpons scored 18 runs in the fourth inning of their game. 18 runs in the fourth inning. Final score 20-2. A little bit of a blowout, but like 18 runs is one of the highest, if not the highest, run totals in one inning of baseball ever played. In the fourth inning, it lasts over an hour, and they get, let me get this all in here, they get 9 hits, 6 walks, 3 errors, 3 wild pitches, 2 passed balls, and an obstruction call, all in the fourth inning, resulting in 18 runs. And not only that, but 15 runs are scored before an out is recorded. It's funny now, we can all laugh about it, but back then, that opposing team, who were it was Daytona Beach, they were not having a good time. That happened today, May 24th, 1978. Hi. So, May the 24th, in the year 1995, Dennis Eckersley, love him or hate him, I've been on both sides of the coin, he records his 300th career save. Now, at the time that he did this, he was only the 6th pitcher to record 300 saves. Bring us to current dates, and there are 30 pitchers who have 300 or more saves for their career. And that's, again, just a product of the way baseball has progressed, where you rely heavily on your relief pitchers, especially your closers, rather than your starting pitchers for the most part. But it happened today, on May the 24th, 1995, that Dennis Eckersley became the 6th man in baseball history to record 300 saves in his career. And that's it. That's May the 24th for you guys. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. If you don't like what you're hearing, please don't unsubscribe. Give us a like. Tell all your friends. Wear a baseball jersey. Eat a hot dog. Drink a beer. Have fun. Baseball's the best.